The brake booster can be replaced once you remove the ABS pump. You are going to have to completely bleed your brake system, including activating the ABS pump with your scan tool after this job is complete. Do not try and drive the vehicle without completely bleeding your brake. The booster is located under the front trim panel, red arrow. You will need to remove all of the upper front trim panels to perform this work. Please follow the link provided at the end of this video for additional assistance with that task. To replace the booster, you are going to need to drain and remove the brake reservoir, blue arrow, and the master cylinder, green arrow. You will also need to move the ABS pump, red arrow, out of the way by disconnecting it and removing it. Begin by placing a bunch of towels down to catch any spills. Brake fluid is fatal to your paint. Make sure you do not get any on you or your clothes and then contact the painted surfaces. Disconnect the fluid level sensor for the master cylinder indicated by the red arrow. You will need to use a fluid pump and drain the reservoir, red arrow. Since you're going to be removing the ABS pump and having to completely bleed the system, you can also open up a bleed nipple on one of the calipers with a catch bottle attached and pump the brakes until the fluid is removed from both the reservoir, master, and ABS pump. Use your flared nut wrench and remove the two lines from the master cylinder, green arrows. Use a 13mm socket on an extension and remove the two nuts holding the ABS pump in place, red arrow, 1 shown. Use your flared nut wrench and remove the 4 lines out from the ABS pump to the hard mount on the chassis, red arrow. Slide the arm on the electrical connector down and separate the electrical connection for the ABS pump, red arrow. Protect the electrical connections from brake fluid. You can now remove the ABS pump from the vehicle. The red arrow shows the location of the lower mount and mounting point. Use care when removing not to spill any of the fluid that will still be in the pump. Pull the vacuum line out from the booster just using your hands, red arrow. You will need to remove the two 22mm nuts holding the master cylinder to the booster, green arrows. If you haven't already, lift the reservoir, green arrow, straight up and out from the master cylinder. It is only held in place by the rubber grommets and will pull straight up. Now you can access the upper 22mm nut. Pull the master cylinder straight out from the booster. If you are reusing it, make sure to replace the sealing O-ring between the master and the booster indicated by the red arrow. Working behind the booster, use a 10mm wrench and remove the single nut holding the arm on the booster to the brake pedal assembly, red arrow. Use a T40 torque and loosen the 2 long bolts holding the booster, red arrows. You can now remove the booster from the vehicle. Installation is the reverse of removal. Torque the booster to 23 Newton meters or 17 pounds and the master to booster to 49 Newton meters or 36 foot-pounds. You're going to have to completely bleed your brake system, including activating the ABS pump, with your scan tool to complete this job. Do not try and drive the vehicle without completely bleeding the system with your scan tool. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.